Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. We're going to start out talking about Christmas presents because that's been the big thing this week. So for the next couple of days, I'm going to be showing you neat things that I got. First off, I have this VIJIM made by ULANZI. Words I cannot pronounce. Ulanzi? And I think the VIGIM is not Vigim or Vigim. It's just the letters that designate what it is. Made in China. Flexible overhead live. I must have got a snake in this box. Well, let's start out and see what it is. I do a lot of repairs on tools. And quite often I'm trying to get something close up. And that means either holding the camera and try to peer around it so that I make sure and get the part in focus, or I try and build some kind of a fixture or device to hold the camera. Well, this is a device to hold the camera. It has a clamp. It goes up under the table, just like that. And I'm going to put it over here to the side. Now normally, I wouldn't clamp it to a bench like this, because this bench moves. And even with the slightest bump, it jiggles a little bit. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to use this. Now I got it clamped to the bench. Now I can take out this part, which is a tube with a threaded fixture on one end, and a ball socket. When I loosen this ball socket up, I can spin this around. I can have it at any angle from 90 degrees to the shaft to inline. Now I take the other one, loosen this lock screw up, and I can tighten this up on there. I think to do that, it'd be better if I locked that down and locked that down. That way it's not going to be spinning around on me. There. Nice solid aluminum tube. Good, strong joints. Okay, loosen this one up. Loosen this one up. I'm going to set the camera back a little bit so you get a bigger range, because this thing is actually quite big. Now I loosen up this joint and I can raise that up like that, and then tip that down and spin it around so it's almost centered over the table. It's not quite where I want it, but it's going to be pretty close. Now I can spin this camera onto that thread right there. And by loosening that, I can spin it around and have it either horizontal, so that the long part of the camera is like this, like a portrait shot. Or I can turn it So I have it in landscape mode. That way if I'm working on something in the center of the table, I can focus right in on it. And you can see that the camera bounces when I put anything heavy on the table. The table is a really good workbench, but it's not designed to be a camera mount. So I think I'm probably going to have this clamped to another table over here so that I can use the center of this table as my working surface. Now I also do work on the lathe, and I do work on the grinder and other things. So if I can move this around and have this much flexibility, that's going to make it a lot easier. I picked up this microphone stand at the estate sale, and it works after a fashion. But it's not really strong enough to hold the cannon. This, once you clamp that down, it's not moving. So this little thing right here came from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description and you can see more about it. It's a very nice device. It's sturdy, very solid, doesn't wiggle, the threads work great, all the balls adjust easily. Just loosen the screw up and set it anywhere you want. The ball lets you move it in all manner of directions. And because you have movement on all these, you can spin it around all over the place. I think it's going to be a great asset. So this thing can go back to being a microphone stand, which it does a pretty good job of. It's more than enough to hold a microphone. I don't have a microphone to go on this thing. I have several microphones, but they're not exactly good microphones. So that'll be something for another day. But this thing, for the price I paid for it, I think I paid $15. It's done quite a good job. It held the camera for a lot of the overhead shots on this table. This is just going to make it a lot more sturdy and a lot easier to adjust. Because this little guy, if you move it just a little bit too much, the camera falls. This is going to be plenty solid. No worries about the camera moving at all. That's my Christmas present. And we had to wait 3 days to get our Christmas presents. It seems that the snowstorm that didn't bother us at all hit all the towns around us pretty hard. So Amazon was a little bit behind. That's okay. It came, I got it, I'm happy with it. This tripod is a Sears tripod, which is a very nice tripod. It's very heavy, very sturdy, but it is awfully big. It's designed to hold a video camera, something that's rather large and kind of top heavy. The Canon EOS 70D is a large camera, but it's nowhere near as heavy as a big video camera. This is a tripod from the 80s when the cameras were huge. It has two problems going for it. One, it's heavy, hard to move. Two, it has a huge footprint, so that it takes up a whole lot of room. Trying to walk around in the shop, which the shop is very small to start with, and I have all this stuff piled on the floor. Two problems, I guess. One of them's mine, one of them's the tripod's. In any case, the tripod makes it very difficult to move around and set up shots. This smaller bench-mounted flexible monopod is going to handle the problems that the tripod can't. Also, I can mount multiple cameras on this, and I'll show you that tomorrow. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.